All right, hey everybody. Today I have with me Chad. He is the founder of Barbell Box. So, Chad, tell us a little bit about your business. What do you guys do?
We are a fitness subscription box. So the way we like to think of it is we're like a trade show in a box. So when you go to a trade show, they're kind of outdated. You're there for free stuff. You don't really get to learn much about the product. What we try to do is we take the box, we package it with 5 to 6 awesome products. Usually there's full size products, and we send them to our customer's door where they get to try things. They're introduced to new products that they may not have been able to discover on their own. And yeah, so there's a surprise element to it. They don't really know what they're getting. I've actually got one here if you want to see. So usually a barbell box kind of looks like this. And then when it's sent to your door, inside you get like an informational booklet that tells you all about the different products that month. And then there's full size products. So these are like an electrolyte. This is actually Kevin Hart's company, which is super cool.
Sweet.
Um, you got like a full size tub of pre workout, a 50 serving pre workout called Beast Mode from Beast Sports. There's protein bars, lots of different things to try. These ones are peanut butter and jelly. There's a
Nice.
protein cookie. And then there are 5 different flavors of protein powder to try, 6 different flavors of protein powder to try, and then a fat burner, 2 fat burners. So every month the product's kind of different, and this is just a really good way that you're able to discover new things and try things that maybe you wouldn't have ended up trying.
All right, sweet. Thank you for that. So, I guess now the burning question that I want to ask everyone wants to know is that are we just another agency that scams you out of a retainer and just drains your bank account?
The those agencies I feel are a dime a dozen. I've had my interactions with a few of them. What ends up happening is usually you initially maybe start to get a few results. Usually it's underwhelming, and you just end up becoming kind of a number to them and a means to collect a paycheck or whatever. And there's no communication, there's no follow up, there's no nothing. With you guys, I took the risk. Something with meeting you and the way we were talking, um, something just clicked, and we weren't working with an agency. I was honestly afraid to partner with one because it was we were getting in trouble with the spending and everything else and the inefficiency of it. And so I was a little resilient to to trying it again. But something about you guys just spoke to us, so we made the decision, and it's been fantastic. And I haven't looked back. So um, yeah, everything so far has been good. What I really like about you guys is the over communication. Usually it's more, it feels like it's more on me to reach out to try and get updates, or hey, how's this going? I noticed that this ad is kind of out of whack, and it's spending but it's not doing anything. And so it's nice for me to reach out. It's nice for you guys to be reaching out to me constantly, more than once a week, giving me an update. Hey, this ad's starting to slow down, so we're thinking of cutting it. We want to redo this creative. We think that this is going to help. And then just constantly kind of touch and go with everything. It just makes it so much better, puts me at ease. I know that we're not wasting money. I know that, you know, every dollar is being spoken for, and the results have been fantastic so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So now in terms of the results, so I mean, in terms of growth, what was, because people here don't know the story about how kind of the last year has been. It's been rough on a lot of brands as well.
Yeah.
When it comes to the growth, what has been kind of your experience with other agencies trying to grow this on a Facebook ads perspective? Because I know you were running Google ads initially. That was the main source for when we started.
Yeah.
How has that been versus how is it going now?
So I haven't run ads for over a year. Um, and while our churn rate is good, because we run a subscription model, right? So the name of the game for us is how many customers can we keep, and if you don't get your churn under control, you're just filling a bucket full of holes.
Yeah.
And so that was something we addressed early on, and we were able to drive our churn down to 7 to 8% per month. But if you're not acquiring at least 7 to 8% of customers, you're not actually growing. You're just
Yeah.
leaking out the bottom. So what was happening is we weren't acquiring as many customers as we were losing, even though we were losing few. Our churn rate from an industry standard standpoint is great. 7 to 8% is really good, especially for a subscription model like this. So we knew the churn was good, but we couldn't keep up with the growth, couldn't keep up to recover the churn. So we weren't going anywhere. So we were just basically spending money. You've got your agency fee, and then you've got your ad spend. The ad spend was out of control. We were acquiring customers at like $200, $250. And if you have like an LTV for a lifetime value of a customer of say 400 plus your expenses and everything else, we were losing money acquiring customers, and we weren't even factoring in the agency cost yet. We were just factoring in the cost of the ads. So we were just hemorrhaging money, and it was unsustainable. It made no sense whatsoever. So we decided to pull the plug on it and continue. It was better for us to not be running ads and to be slowly kind of churning out of existence than it
Yeah.
was to be spending and not really getting anywhere and burning cash faster. So when we decided to go with you guys, I mean, I made you kind of aware of the situation. The one thing I really liked is you didn't overpromise and underdeliver. I feel like you underpromised and overdelivered, which was
Yeah.
a breath of fresh air. And so
Good to
now, I
hear.
mean, we're acquiring customers under $40. I've never in the 9 years that I've been doing this, I've never seen. Maybe when we first started, maybe you had 7 years ago a customer
Yeah.
acquisition cost of $40. I don't think we've ever sustained a month continuous of an average of under $40 customer acquisition cost. Sometimes you get an ad that runs lower, but the other ads are running at 300 to average out to 210 or whatever it may be. But with you guys, like so far the last 2 months, we've been averaging like $38 on a customer acquisition cost. Lifetime value has been good. And for the first time in almost 2 years, we've been seeing growth again. So we've been seeing 11% growth month over month, and that's with the 8% churn. So if we weren't churning anything, we'd be growing 20% month over month. And that's wild.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, yeah, we had a crazy good January, and hopefully February is going to carry through pretty nice as well.
Yeah.
So I guess in terms of the customer acquisition process before working with us, you guys were mainly doing Google ads, and that was mainly bottom of funnel or mainly just, intent based search. But we also did your guys' landing pages and new kind of website. And what was that from a conversion rate difference that you guys saw with that?
Yeah, so we were running Google ads. We started running Google ads maybe 2 months before we started with you guys. And what we were finding is the search volume and there wasn't any overlap whatsoever. So by doing the Facebook ads and the Meta ads, that driving traffic, the two are working very synergistically between Meta and Google, and there's some overlap, which has also boosted the conversion, the ROAS, and everything on the Google ad side of things. So to put it into perspective, the ROAS on Google before we started with you guys, I believe, was something like 0.2.
Yeah.
And we weren't even spending that much, but it was horrible. I think the ROAS now with you guys, when I looked last on Triple Whale, was 26.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
It's something crazy. So
Yeah.
the synergy between the Meta and the Google is working really well.
Yeah.
As for the landing page, that was initially why I approached you, is I knew you guys were good with landing pages, and I needed to revamp something. I have friends that are in business and other friends that are in the subscription space. And as much as the website that we had was pretty and, it was expensive and nice, it wasn't converting. I think our conversion rate was like 0.3, 0.23. It was
Yeah.
low. And so to be driving all that traffic there and just kind of wasting it, really, that's what you're doing. You're wasting the traffic. Something had to be done, and you guys came in, and JR's a magician, and you
Yeah.
guys, that was the most painless process ever. Because one of the things I have a hard time with is if you get me involved in the design process and the creative process, I will bog it down in the name of perfection.
Yeah.
And I wanted to eliminate myself from that entire process. I did not want to be involved. I wanted you guys to do what you do best. And if there was an absolute, something that needed to be changed, then I would say something. But you guys surprised me and knocked it out of the park. And the conversion rate's almost up over three, I think. So, going from point 0.3 to 3, it's a 10x.
Yeah.
10x on the conversion rate. You're acquiring 10 times more customers.
Yeah.
Um, it's just all these little things kind of come together to make it work really well, right? You've got the
Yeah.
conversion rate goes up, the ads are clicking at a profitable CAC, you've got the overlap with Google. It's just now it feels it's not finely tuned yet, but it's getting to be a finely tuned engine where all the components are working together and working really well.
Yeah, no, yeah, that makes sense. And in terms of an overall growth strategy, part of our onboarding obviously was us going through the numbers and really breaking down, what it takes for you to grow and the fact that you didn't really need a 3x ROAS that you thought you needed, right? So, do you feel like you've had more clarity now on how to properly grow the business in a more aggressive way while still remaining profitable now versus before?
Yeah, I think I have a very good sense and a very good feeling of the business, just kind of a natural inclination, right? Like
Yeah.
your gut feeling, because I've been operating and I've owned it for so long and I've seen so many different things. So like I have a gut feeling on where I am. But when we were able to kind of sit down, look at some of the worst case scenarios, some of the best case scenarios, and get an idea of how everything factored in, it puts you at ease to then get aggressive with some
Yeah.
of your strategies, knowing that, if these variables hold true and we're able to measure them and see them week after week and make adjustments to them, it gives you a feeling of like you just feel more what's the word I'm looking for? You just feel more prepared.
Yeah.
And you're able to make um, number driven, data driven decisions rather than flying by the seat of your pants. And
Yeah.
you can only fly by the seat of your pants for so long
Yeah.
before you get yourself in trouble. So seeing like the hard numbers um, helps you just kind of cope with that. And I think the other thing too is seeing that, while you may lose in month one on the initial sale, which I mean, even for us right now, I believe
We're
our
below
role,
break even with CPA, so you're profitable just a little bit on the front end.
yeah. But where it gets magical is month 2, 3. We know that on average a customer stays for almost 7 months. So
Yeah.
we maybe break even or just above break even month one, which is fine. But month 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are going to be all profit.
Yeah.
So just making that switch and being able to look at the graphs that you presented with me, and we went through and we broke them down and we could fiddle with the numbers and make different changes to really give you a good idea of how this goes and how it looks 3 months down the road.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's solid. And then in terms of a, time commitment and load on your team, how do you feel like working with us has been? Has it been very, time consuming, very demanding from you? Did you have to do a bunch of stuff, or did you feel like everything was kind of already taken care of?
Most time consuming thing was learning how to use Slack. And that wasn't very time consuming at all. Like,
Yeah.
we hadn't used Slack before. I had heard of it and I'd tried it a few times.
Yeah.
And at the time, it felt kind of overwhelming and this is too complicated. I don't want to use it. But now, I mean, it's great for communication. Everything is in there. We can go back and look at conversations from months before. Um, the communication's been great. What I was really looking for is what I found with a lot of other agencies is the everything kind of fell on me to keep it going. Like we would have weekly calls where I was coming up with ideas. I was saying, let's use lookalike audiences like this and let's do a geolocating strategy around, all the gyms in Canada. Here are the addresses. Like I felt like I was doing all the legwork and they were just sitting there just doing whatever they do on the computer. I was having to film content. I
Yeah.
was having to come up with scripts. And it's like that's what I want from an agency. You guys are
Yeah.
the experts, not me. If I was the expert, I wouldn't need an agency and I'd just do it myself. But I don't have the time for that. I'm busy running a business and doing other things and managing a team and running operations and dealing with customers. And so with you guys, what was great is you came in with the ideas every month or every week, actually. Your team is coming up with new ideas for videos. If they need something shot, they'll ask, like if it's a founder video or something else where they need me to talk about something or they want me to do an unboxing and talk about certain products. The request is there. I can film it in multiple takes. You guys take it and splice it up. And then the other great thing was a huge issue for us was content creation. We get a lot of really good UGC just from the nature of the business. It's very unboxing worthy on social. And so
Yeah.
customers do that. But what we really needed was to be able to get that content from those customers and creators and turn them into ads. And you guys handle that from A to Z, which is great. You guys grab the content, have it filmed, have it recorded, cut it up, make awesome ads out of it. And so that to me was the missing piece is we didn't have the content creation and it was taking too much time on my end
Yeah.
and it was taking me away from important business operations that I needed to handle. And so with you guys, it's been super hands off. You ask for my input when you need it, but for the most part, it's nice to be able to step out, step away from the creative process so that I don't get in the way.
Yeah, yeah. No, I appreciate it. That's amazing. And then now, from based off of where we're at now and kind of how the last couple of months progressed, in the next 6 to 12 months, where do you kind of see this going? So I know there's some seasonality to your product sometimes. So I guess we're going to find out how these next couple of months go compared to the year before. But just based off of these last couple of months compared to the years before, how does that look like?
Um, for me, what was starting to happen before we kind of we started working together was almost this nihilistic feeling like if I can't figure out acquisition and I can't acquire customers properly, we're just going to churn ourselves out of existence. And it may take a long time. We may be able to survive for 2 years, but eventually you're going to go to zero. And
Yeah.
so the thought process there was there's kind of a bit of panic. Um, but now seeing continued growth, 11% growth month over month for the last 3 months, it makes me hopeful and excited again. It's brought a whole new life to the business again, I think. Um,
Yeah.
Today I was looking at projections on, the next 6 months and seeing like if this continuation of growth happens, which I think it can, and we may hit a few road bumps or a few hiccups along the way because
Yeah.
there is seasonality, but then again, it could have just been inexperienced ad creatives, inexperienced media buyers. It could have been a whole host of things. I don't know for sure. I know things do kind of slow down in the summer. People are traveling and going on vacation, and people are more likely to be working on their dad bod than their summer bod. But
Yeah.
I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful, and I'm excited to see what we can do in the next 5 to 6 months leading up to it. And I have a great feeling that we're going to be hitting all-time highs again and again and again.
All right. Well, hopefully, yeah, that's amazing. Thank you very much, Chad. We appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, that's the end of the interview. If you guys are in fitness, you're working out, and you want to try some new supplements, go to thebarbellbox.com and grab a barbell box. These things are amazing. You're going to find new products almost every single month, and it's just an amazing product. So thank you very much, Chad. We'll speak soon. Take care.